What up, G?
What up, bitch?
What's good, doggy?
Ish. So good, bro.
What's good, my boy? How you doing?
I'm good, huh?
Yeah?
Just a lot of
You look good.
I look different.
No, you look better than what you did on the last episode.
I had to do something.
No, you look like trash, bro.
I did look like trash.
You look like
Because I fuck
trash.
trash inside.
Yeah, that's a good thing. As you want to portray on the outside what you're feeling on the inside.
There's a change.
There's a change happening. It looks good, bro.
Something big is happening.
Something's brewing.
And you? How you doing, bro?
I'm dope, bro. I'm better. My voice is back. Last episode, people kind of had to struggle with getting through that horsey. Yo, man, I had the flu and viral infections held me down. And shouting and drinking held me down for a good 3 weeks, bro.
Yeah,
it's just been, it was a lot, dude.
It was a lot.
Yeah, man. Anyway, so where we at, bro?
36.
But where are we?
We're at the place called the Black Rabbit.
We're in Greenside. What brings us to Greenside? Our next guest, Entrepreneur Spotlights. The next cat we got on goes by a lot of names. Moketa, Catalyst,
King Cutter.
King Cutter. I don't want to go into too much in the intro about what he does. Let's let him talk about where he's at, what he does.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's got a couple of bars to drop for you guys. But yeah, without further ado, let's bring him on. What's good, boy?
Yo, Gabe. What's up, bro? Long time no see, man. Dude,
What's good? What is your birth given name?
Sure.
And where you from?
ID name? Not Mohale. You know, if you really know me, if somebody says Mohale, I know that they know me.
Now they all know.
Yeah, my name is Mohale Molefe.
Yeah.
I was born and raised in the Vaal. You know, V-side represent.
Alright.
I'm an MC. I'm a writer. I'm a reader. You know. I used to be a rapper.
Because a lot of people think you're the master of ceremonies. You old school, bro. He says you old school.
Yeah, basically, man, how I can say is that I talk for a living, you know? So whether I'm doing it over beats, whether I'm doing it to a crowd of people that are listening to me, or whether I'm doing it in front of the camera and try to inspire a lot of our kids to also write and read, you know? So yeah, basically that's the concept of, that's how people know Mohale Catalyst, and that's the artist.
Okay.
I've always wanted to use a pseudonym in my artist side because Mohale Molefe is something totally different. Mohale Molefe is a marketer by profession. Mohale Molefe majored in digital marketing.
Okay.
You know, got 98%, highest in the country. Very smart guy.
So we got that digital brain.
You know, very smart guy, intelligent. You know, the rapper side of me is very ignorant though. You know, so I do live that duality.
I would have to argue that though.
Yeah.
I would have to say that some of the best rappers and some of the how would I put it? Some of the words, the best words.
Okay.
You'd have to argue that they would have to have a bit of a higher level of intelligence than the normal person.
Yeah.
From the way they put the words together, from the way they put them across.
Okay.
I mean, just in terms of how you talk, whether you sit on a beat or whether you're just talking to people.
Yeah.
How you put the words cleverly together and make them align to tell the story that you want to tell.
Right.
You know, has to involve a certain level of intelligence.
Right.
Would you agree with that?
Yes and no. Because now we have what we call, and not now, it's always been there. There are studio artists.
Okay.
You know, there are people that they're so confident behind
A booth, in the booth.
behind a microphone, first of all, but inside a booth.
Yeah.
They feel very comfortable when it's just them and the producer, and you know, they don't have to.
And 25 takes.
You know what I mean? And not only the takes, but they feel like they don't have to face their crowd immediately.
Okay.
You know, versus a person who is an orator, versus a person who, I like to reference Hitler, one of the best speakers of our times.
Of course.
You know, he can stand in front of 40,000 people and say something, and it means something, and there's a message. He just doesn't sound good once it's been edited and whatnot. If you met him in person, you would actually be like, wow, that guy's intelligent.
Yeah.
Whereas most of the rappers, if you were to meet that person, you know, it's one of those, you wish you never meet your idols because you'd be hella disappointed. You know, because now he's face to face with a person. So I always say that those rappers that, man, all they're good for is for you to take a selfie with them, you know, and do that, post it on Insta, shine.
And move on.
Yeah, but there are rappers that are gonna tell you, nah, man, talk to me. Let me find out who you are rather than take a picture with you. You know what I mean?
Which is dope.
So I'd like to think that I fall under the category of always trying to interact with my crowd and my audience and people who consume my kind of content.
Mohale or Moho Catalyst, who's the one doing the English degrees?
Mohale. I've got a degree in BAGN, right, which is majoring in English and philosophy. And I think while other people wanted a sort of set of skill or a set profession, like say either being a doctor, an engineer, or you know, whatever. Some sort of profession. You know, when I went to school, I must be honest with you, I did not know what I wanted to do. I had no idea.
It was
like when I went to high school, all they told me was, yo, get high marks. They never told me get them for what.
You did just that. You got your high marks.
They told me finish school, high school, so that you can go to university. You know, great stuff. But not you get to university. There's a bunch of options, man. A bunch of options, and literally like there's lines, there's faculties, and you know. My highest marks, and one of which I did in a higher grade, that shows you how old I am, was English and history. You know, I was always into the stories and into the words. You know, and how I achieved those marks is that I used to be one of those kids when there was like, maybe it's a speech. What was it?
What is it? Public speaking?
Public speaking.
Or like
those things. In class, memories like,
you talk.
And you know, some kids who are engineers today and doctors today, they'd shake their hands. They'd be like, ma'am, you know, and it wouldn't click. To me, I wouldn't even have to write this speech.
You could just get up and
I would get there and get a standing ovation from the kids, and the teacher would be like, wow, I want to enter you for debate. I used to do UN debating, you know what I mean? So to me, the oratory skill was my skill.
Fair enough.
Do you know what I mean? So if we were to go to war right now, and let's say you're a great tactician, and that's what you do, and let's say one is a fighter, is an awesome fighter front, you would send me first to go talk to those people to see, like, do we have to fight?
Do we have to get to that point?
Do we have to get to that? Definitely. So
do I have to apply my strategies before, or Mo can sort this out before we get to any sort of...
So to go back to your question, to answer why English, it was because that, and it wasn't just English, because I also majored in linguistics.
Okay.
You know, because language is an important thing, and how to be able to portray yourself, and for people to get your direct meaning means you have to think as fast as you talk.
So from English, how did you get into the digital space? Like you said, you majored in digital.
In digital marketing. How I got into the marketing field was that, I'll be honest with you kids out there, right? This is South Africa. I always say to kids, you need to pay very careful attention to where you are. And I mean that in a literal sense. When you're in Central Joburg, always be aware of your surroundings. Now, the biggest surrounding is that if you're going to major in English and you're not going to be a journalist or a teacher or any other of those things, and you are in South Africa, how are you going to make money?
For sure.
You know, the point is, I needed a way and I needed a career path that was going to say, okay, you've got this beautiful talent in speaking. You know, I wasn't going to be a newscast person. You need to be pretty to do that. So I got into marketing because I looked at it realistically. I'm like, to me, what is marketing? Marketing at the end of the day is all about communication, man. It's all about saying said product to said person. So if you know how to speak, I was like, okay, now I need to be able to sell the skill of language that I have. And marketing was taking my ideology and matching it with practicality. So English was my ideology and marketing was my practicality. Sure. Because at the end of the day, this is...
So that was the output. That was the output in essence, because you had to find a way to make what you had become an expert in and have an output to give that out to the world
100%.
or to your clients or to people who don't necessarily have that skill and need somebody else to sort of put that skill out.
100%.
Yeah. How does the music fall into this place? So I know you've spoken about being the MC, the artist, the wordsmith, but was that all that you did in the music?
Let me start from how I got into it, right? So there was one other thing I was going to do with this verbal gift that I was given. It was either, like I said, either I was going to get into radio but music was always close to me. You know what I mean? I'm one of those kids where other kids were playing soccer. I was in a circle somewhere and we were having a cipher throwing random words around. Because to me it was a creativity thing.
Yeah.
You know, and music is a creator's art, and more of my consumer side is way overwhelmed by my creative side. I always like to create things.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, so to me, how was I going to create with all these words that I had? It was going to go to music.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I got into music into high school. We were quite big in high school, and this is my entrepreneurial spirit. You know, when I got into music in high school, there were no CD writers. Now this is back in the day, so when me and the crew, we had to do it because the music cost a lot. Now we've got black parents, and as black parents, they're like, yo, you see this hobby of yours?
Yeah.
It costs money.
Yeah.
So we had to find a way to make money from what we love, so that we can carry
doing what you love.
Do you know what I mean? And I think the first group that broke up out of the Vaal was Optical Illusion.
Yeah.
The first tape I ever got was Sports Illustrated, and I was in high school. You know, in high school, and I remember looking at this tape and thinking, so you're telling us that when we're chilling in a circle rapping, we can actually make our own music, make our own beats. And what we realized is that, but guys, why don't we actually start selling our music? Because all of these students know us, we're the popular guys, now we've got a market. You see, that's why the marketing brain has always been there. So I was able to convince the guys that, listen, we could actually sell this, you know, and we could actually start procreating. So after that, we released a couple of albums in high school.
Yeah, as yourself or as...
No, as a crew. Yeah, as a crew. Yeah. We were called 6 Feet back in the day. That was me, Mutipa, Poltergeist, and Pro Instro.
Okay.
You know, respectively, who are doing different things right now.
Yeah.
I was not gonna be that kid that sells sweets, cigarettes. I've never been good at getting into trouble. Yeah. Selling music ain't never got me into trouble. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, if we could package a couple of CDs, and believe me, every time we released an album, it was sold out. Sure. You know what I mean? And we continue doing this. Some are still doing it, but at some point I stopped doing it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But I did it up until varsity level.
Okay.
Until 3rd year, and then I was like, okay, that was a great journey.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is music still a part of your journey now, your life right now?
Definitely, because right now music for me, and this comes to a part of my name and why I called myself Mohale Catalyst. Well, the Mohale explains itself.
Mohale.
Not one, not two, not three.
Lots of hoes.
You know? This is a name I got in high school, by the way. I was a very special child, very active. But let's go to Catalyst. You know, the very important name is, I remember having one of the first studios in the Vaal. You know, one of the first, as professional as can be, one of the first studios that was printing CDs back when CDs was a thing, before the digital era. One of the first people learning how to apply it to RISA, you know, which is the recording industry of South Africa. One of the first people to go to Samuel, you know, from a very small town. But what I did...
And from a very young age.
From a very young age.
You must have been coming out of teenage. You must have still been a teenager at the time.
Yeah, I'm talking 18.
Yeah.
At that age, you know what I mean? Getting our music played on radio, going to stations like YFM. But to me, with a gift this big, it was never intended for me to be famous. And like, I keep saying the face of things. Like, I like playing the background because you get to channel and to control, but not also to control, but to influence and move.
Yeah.
And pass the baton when it's the right time for the right person to run.
Sure.
So how I'm still in music is that there are so many children that are in the Vaal Triangle right now that are not only not doing drugs or having kids at a young age, or that are finding themselves with nothing to do, which is the worst thing. It's even worse than drugs when you're just sitting there. You know what I mean? Yeah, and I don't mind. So my role is that I gave so many kids an opportunity to not only nurture their talent but be bigger than they thought they could be.
Okay.
You know, so it's always been part of my plan to be like, this is why I call myself the catalyst.
Okay.
It was not my dream to come here and be the superstar.
Yeah. So you're not the reaction. You're just aiding the reaction and pushing towards a certain end, which is a catalyst.
I didn't call myself that name inside the dictionary. It was well thought out.
Yeah.
And my mission in music was like inspire, grow, motivate.
Sure.
You know, and sometimes that's all one kid needs. So me, even when I make a star out there and one kid becomes big, the role that I played in his life to me is fulfilling enough. I've done something that nobody else could have done.
Yeah,
you know?
I get that. That's dope. That's super dope. So you're still doing that now as well?
100%.
Yes. Your studio's still running. You're still going. There's still kids coming through and how broad is your sort of musical influence from a catalyst point of view?
When people are in my studio particularly, because I've seen kids grow, I've seen some blow up, there've been names in that studio that, oh gosh, amazing people, you know what I mean? All you have to do as the general manager of whatever team it is you're trying to put together is find out people's strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, sure.
Normally without saying it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You let them shine,
Of course, and you let them get the, and I'm still doing this scot-free, by the way. I've never charged any of these kids a cent, and I don't want to yet because I want them to get the flow first of what it is we're doing. So you'll get your rappers, you get the kids that you can see this kid has got a potential of becoming, you know, the first of him.
Okay.
And I don't like saying the next.
I like that. That mindset.
And you get producers who are amazing, who are doing very amazing things right now, and with very big brands.
Yeah.
Within that, you've got kids that have studied law. You know what I mean? And within that, you've got kids that have studied accounting. Now, what I need them to find out for themselves about music is like, listen, this thing is so widespread, it's a rainbow effect. When you're only seeing that silver lining, listen, there's red, indigo, there's so many levels to this music thing that you can fit in. Now, everybody has got the misconception that being a musician means that you have to be, I'm going to talk about this face thing. Because, listen, man, if you look at the longevity of an artist in South Africa, it's not that much. It's
shelf life 10 years.
Shelf life,
and that's if you blew up. So and you managed to keep that consistency on it. Many don't even get half of that. If you're lucky in this country.
You know what? It hit me when the suicides started coming, and I don't like name dropping. When the suicides started coming because people couldn't sing anymore, I realized that shit, people don't have enough skills. The minute you can't rap, or the minute you are not popular anymore, you've got no skill set to fall back on. And that's one thing that I also aim to change in the music industry. Is like, listen, if you have been in it way too long, learn how to maybe be a publisher.
Or evolve.
You know, or evolve within that space, because
or an artist manager. There's so many things.
Right. In my studio, I'm always telling the kids that, nah, man, do finish your LLB. Do you know what I mean? I'm not trying to say to them that, listen, music, it's not forever. You can do it, but have a set of skill that can either help further advance this or carve you a niche.
So that, but like even with that, with the example you just brought up on the LLB, if you have law and understand music, you're already carving a different path for you once you're done with the music. 100%. There's the law side of music, there's the legal side of music, 100%. There's all of that, there's people in music who need representation. 100%. You know, so and that's just one idea. You know, and I get that what you're trying to do. That's super dope that you're not trying to say, you know what, stop what you're doing. You know, just be a musician.
Let me further break it down, and this is especially for the kids that are, Man, I believe in people's dreams, right? But I also believe in being multifaceted. Like I was telling you, H, and like I was telling you, G, I'm in a state where I'm selling real estate right now, and one of my most favorite rhymes in hip hop is Jay-Z saying, "I came into this motherfucker 100 grand strong." Like, you need to understand that even when he came in, he already had an investment. Yeah, he wasn't like, I'm coming into this music and it's all I have, and even if it go, you know, and people are coming into this music and then they start blaming their passion, like, yo, this is all I have, this is all I want.
And it doesn't work out, although that's not the same story for everyone. Because you look at people like Cole, who comes in with $1 and a dream, you know. And but I love what the concept that you're coming from, Jay-Z. And in fact, the line he goes in after that, he says 9 to be exact.
From grinding.
From grinding. You know what I'm saying? So it's important to say, you know what, I had a foundation before I came into doing what I'm really passionate about. So I love that, dude. That's super dope. You were saying you were going from there. You were going. So you say now you're in real estate.
I'm in real estate, right? Before real estate, I was in radio.
Okay.
The thing about it is that when one chapter ends of something specific and significant in your life, do you now wallow? Do you sit there and say, my dream? You know, my problem is that people talk about their dream like they only have one dream. Gee, your whole life, if you only have one dream,
your dreams keep changing every day.
Absolute dreams right now. So when people talk about their dreams, they don't think about, people like to one-dimensionalize themselves, and which is something we need to break through. You know, I've always thought about music to me as the soundtrack. It's not the movie. There's people that are shooting, there's the crew, there's even catering ladies, there's cleaners. So it's so big and so dynamic, and that's where I want musicians to start thinking. You need to be able to blow your own mind. And when you talk about your dream, man, if your dream is not changing every single month or getting bigger or broader, then maybe you need to stop having the same dream, the reoccurring dream, you know what I mean? Because for me, once you hit that dream and you've dreamed that dream, then what? Am I boring? You're human. Then, you know, so we need to start talking about our dreams. Why don't we have goals? You know, so people,
and dreams.
Right? So people will talk to me like, Mo, you should go back into music. Why did you left music? I'm going to do this. It's inevitable for me to go to music, but I need to come into this motherfucker 100 grand strong. So I'm not going to find that 100 grand waiting for me in music. I'm going to go find it somewhere else and find other skills and find other stories to speak about.
But also, your other dreams can find the dreams and the passions. You know, why I'm saying that, for example, the real estate can fund the music. The music can bring in money to do other things. So that, I think having that multi-dimensional thinking is important for everybody. You know, having that one dream, what happens when it doesn't work out? Because it happens.
What advice would you give to that young kid who really wants to get into music but doesn't necessarily have that default to do all these things that you've done and get there? Is it like, you know, go get a 9 to 5?
The first point of advice I give to people is that don't go seek funding. Our always thing, our always mentality is like, yo, if I go get funding, listen, funding is a fancy word for a loan. And with loans come interest. Okay? Now when you go get signed, and I'm not going to mention names, but you've seen a couple of celebrities in South Africa saying, yeah, my car was taken away. Of course, you don't own it. It was a loan. So why I keep emphasizing I came into this 100 grand strong. You don't have to 9 to 5, boy. I don't know if you're going to go grind cheap packs, but you have to somehow fund your dream. Nobody, if somebody else gives you money, they're in control of the IP of their dream. And if you've lost your IP, which is intellectual property, everything is gone. It's you know, and even if now you're working to cover that up, the first thing I'll tell you is that don't get into debt trying to pursue your dream. Don't go borrow money trying to get money, because now you must pay back money before you get money, and you're moving nowhere. You know,
take your while to break even.
And I don't know what happened to the hustler spirit. It's something we must inherit. Man, listen, even if I got to a point into my life where I'd have to sell clothes, I would. Man, I sell anything if I have to sell it. But I know where the money is going. which is my last point.
Yeah.
Once you hustle, whether you're selling laptops, man, anything under the sun that you can think of, not gonna mention names, you know, whether it's legal or not, I'm not saying go to a crime. What I'm trying to say to you is once the money is in your possession, it's what you do with it next. If you've still got the dream and it's important, invest in your own dreams, guys. You can't go externally for somebody to invest in something you believe in. You know, they just believe in the return of their investment. It's mine.
It's not the money.
It's got interest. It's got nothing to do with your dream. So me, that's all I'd say. Go hustle for your dream. Don't borrow money for your dream. Once you've got money for your dream, put it in the right place. We've got this thing of being overexcited by money that is not supposed to do the things that it's supposed to do. You know, so that's the last thing, man. Use your money wisely, especially if it's for what you believe in.
How do people get a hold of Mo? Like, how do like if I'm a young kid who even just wants to talk to you, rap, have a conversation, you know, have access to your studio, have access to your services, to you, to what you're doing. You know, how do people get a hold of you? How does one do that?
Right, so yes, so for a person that's in digital media, I'm not that busy on social media and whatnot. You can check out my little brother. He's running the studio right now. So what I did is that I passed on the gift, and he's amazing. I must say he's a much better rapper than I ever was. He's absolutely and he's running the studio right now. You can get him at Mo Artwell. That's on Twitter. You know, DM him. And then get to talking. I believe that Twitter is beautiful for sharing information. You know, and that's another tip, guys. Stop using social media to feel depressed about your lives, okay? Start connecting. Actually, you've got this tool that you use it for so many useless things, you know? Guys, stay off Pornhub, guys. Stay off Instagram and follow release. Stop following the girls that are do you know what I mean? But also use those connections. It's a 24-hour system of people that are passing through information. Start following the
sharing.
And sharing also.
I mean, that's the other thing is that I feel that's the big power around, and especially music has become more than even three-dimensional. Music has become so multifaceted with the invent of social media and social sharing, because you're no longer just making music for the audience in your hood. You're now making music for the entire planet. You know, and accessible immediately when you put it out there. So my advice would be put it out there. Start. You know,
even if it's trash,
it doesn't matter. Let somebody tell you it's trash first, and then come out of it from there.
And then you can improve from there.
100%, dude. Mo, I'm gonna put you on the spot, dude. Give us a freestyle to wrap up this episode.
I have not rapped.
I don't care, bro. Give us the words.
Give us 16, bro.
Give us the words. Give us the 16 to wrap up. Before you do that, I'm gonna say, guys, you know what to do. Like, follow, share, subscribe, do all of that stuff we tell you to do every week. We'll put all of Mo's details in the details below so you can get a hold of him, so you can follow him. He'll definitely be back. This is just one facet of a mind here, guys, and I think there's a lot to share here. Without further ado, give us a 16, bro.
I'm gonna give you my most favorite verse of all time.
That's cool.
I hold the hand alive, firm and arm wrestle Armageddon. Take advantage of mics like virgin girls that were led on. I'm dead on. Target like a bullet till it head on. I'm not here for the butter, but for the bread that it's spread on. I've shed on many tears on the floor that I stand on. It's always been for you that I bust a verse at random. And if hip-hop was Troy and ambition was Agamemnon, where humble cats sell for the stones, money, and Sharons. From here on, I advocate this word I declare on. Actors and imitators who trash homes like the Therons. From here on, I advocate every muscle and neuron to pair on. People who speak nonsense by the gallon. These days niggas are fake and made up like Revlon. Jealous precipitate cause they words didn't gel on. I fell on whose only mission's to water your melon. Cause spell on so you can think before you bust your melon.
Alright, Mo, thank you very much, bro. That was so dope, man. Yeah, guys, so with that, it's got one deuce on the light, right?
Two deuce.
Two deuce, double deuces.
And yep.
Peace out.